So in this water, we have apples, carrots, cucumbers. I have ginger and turmeric somewhere here. Ginger, I don't know where the turmeric went. Beets, and then we have watermelon. And then I am also going to peel some sweet potatoes because it's going to be 3 different juices. So one is going to be carrot and sweet potato with turmeric and ginger. The other will be a green juice, so apples, cucumbers, kale, and spinach. And then the other one is going to be a watermelon beet juice. And so don't sleep on that one because beets are like really, really earthy and really strong. And so you don't really need many, but we had this huge watermelon. So both these pots of chopped watermelon is going to go with, I think it's 3 of these beets and a couple of apples. And for us, we feel like this is the best way to eat or drink the beets and vegetables. I'm sorry, in a juice, because otherwise, depending on what you mix it with, it's just not pleasurable. So there we have it. So I forgot to mention that this is like a really, really, really large bowl that we got from Amazon. I can't even like scale how big it is. Maybe you can tell by how small my hand is compared to the bowl. But the way that we do it is we soak these fruits and vegetables in apple cider vinegar and salt, pink Himalayan salt to be specifically, and that's to clean them because organic fruits and vegetables are, of course, they cost more, but in addition to that, they go bad quicker. And so some things we buy organic, like I believe the carrots are organic, but like the apples at Wegmans, you can get a big bag of them for inexpensive. And so it's just better to buy the apples that way, but we just soak them for about 20 minutes or so in apple cider vinegar and salt and water. And that is supposed to clean them really well. So after they soak in apple cider vinegar, you have to scrub them clean. So we just have this little vegetable scrubber brush and scrub each and every one of them, because what you don't want is to blend your stuff and it tastes like vinegar and salt. Now for your beets, you want to take extra time cleaning those because they are so gross. And obviously you're not going to get every speck off of them, but you can at least try to get them as clean as possible. Also, beets are messy, so there's red juice going everywhere right now, but that's okay. That looks 10 times better. Just in case you want to compare a clean beet to a dirty one. So this is one that has not been scrubbed yet. So again, even though it's been soaking, you can still see it's still pretty dingy compared to this one that I have cleaned. Complete difference. So scrub, 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 folks. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want this in your juice, that's completely up to you. One of the things that we bought is this over the sink colander. It's plastic, it collapses and it drains, but this is just 10 times easier to save space. Like our kitchen is a decent size, but it's not that big for all of the equipment that we feel like we need for juicing. So this helps us save space because we still have the rest of our sink. As you saw, I had the bowl here. I can put another one here. I can put a whole bunch of stuff here. So the next thing we're gonna do is chop our beets down. Sometimes I chop everything first, and then sometimes I chop by juice. I'm gonna chop by juice today, or clean and chop by juice today, just because that's just what I feel like doing. So Oh, and also, as you can see, beets just get stains everywhere. There will definitely be stains on this cutting board when we're done, but they'll come out eventually. So I am gonna cut these. The juicer that we have, we can really cut them in like half, but I like to cut them in little smaller pieces just because when creating the recipe or making sure that the recipe is even, this is just the easier way to do that. Donnell would literally yell at me, but technically speaking, wear gloves, people. Safe for your hands, wear plastic gloves, but I don't feel like it right now. Normally I would rinse the cutting board in between, but because the apples are going in the same juice as the beets, it's not that big of a deal. But again, good thing is the juicer that we have, you really don't even, you can cut them in halves, but I just cut them in fours. You can leave the seeds, and that's pretty much it. So the juicer we have is called the Nama. I think it's the J2. Honestly, I would have not made it without it. Juicing is a lot of work. It's tedious. It takes forever. This kind of cuts down on the amount of time because you can just stuff things in here and close it up, which I'll show you in a second, rather than other juicers you have to kind of like feed one thing at a time. So here we go. So with the Nama, you have to load soft at the bottom first, and then put your hards. And so this way, the hard things will help push it down. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna load it with some apples and some beets and press start. So we are locked and loaded pretty much. The watermelon juice is really fast, and now we just have the apples and carrots left with this batch. Juice comes out on this side, pulp on this side. Here we go. Gonna load it again. The beauty of the Nama is that because it works so well, the pulp, you get far less pulp out of a lot of fruits and vegetables than you would a traditional juicer that you would get from someplace else. And this isn't a good example because it's watermelon, so it's still gonna be a little, I guess, moist, but it's a lot less moist than it would be some of those other juicers. So sometimes we double strain, sometimes we don't. Tonight it's late, so we're not. So we just have this strainer, which is the easier one. When we double strain, we strain it through here first and then through like a cheesecloth bag. But today, one-time strain, just pour it straight through. This is a really, really thin, I guess, consistency, so that goes straight through. When it doesn't, we have this and we just kind of like force it through. So we've juiced the apples, beets, and watermelon, and we just put it all in this bowl when we're done to mix it together. And then we're gonna skim off the foam off the top, because when you leave it in there, it makes your juice go bad a lot faster than it would if you take it out. So we have this little skimmer, and just skim it off into this bowl before we pour it into our jars. You may not get most of it, or I mean, you may not get all of it, but just getting most of it is good enough. So now we pour into 32-ounce jars.